Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CMOTV.live. In our efforts to understand the marketing activities, we have been talking with marketing leaders for a long. Today we have Sairam, Vedam, CMO Innominds. Let me welcome Sai and express my gratitude for taking out and speaking to CMOTV.live. Sai, welcome to CMOTV.live.
Hey Sanjay, thank you. Thanks for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure to interact with the peer network and share and learn more from the community.
Sai, very quickly, if you can let us know, the audience know about the kind of organization that you are working in, for whom or for which you have been creating strategies.
Innominds is a next generation digital product engineering services company. Okay, we are Silicon Valley headquartered organization. We've been in business close to 2 decades now. We help some of the largest software product companies, OEM companies, and global enterprises by co-creating software for them. We write code, we build great software products. We've done about 100 plus software products for large organizations. We also develop cutting edge IoT products and devices, Internet of Things, and we add a substantial amount of intelligence through cognitive technologies like AI, ML, and deep learning, and a whole bunch of analytics, which makes enterprise applications ready. All this put together, we call this powering the digital next. So we power the digital next initiatives of global companies through a deep understanding of product development competencies and also making these customers meet their digital transformation objectives come reality. That's what we do. We
All right,
power the
Sai,
digital next.
excellent, Sai. Sai, for last couple of quarters, I'll say last 4 quarters, 1 year from now that we have been affected, the entire system, entire business has been disrupted by pandemic. So my question is, what were your main pain points at the onset of pandemic?
Well, I think just as much as anyone, the pandemic took every one of us by surprise. But I think the resilience at large that every one of us have bounced back is a testimony of how technology companies have come of age, and we are no exception to that. Okay, the challenges were none of us were aware of how long this is going to exist, and most importantly, as CMO, I think we are at the intersection of strategic communication that needs to take into consideration customers, partners, employees, and the business at large. So each of them had a different layer of sensitivity while it comes to ensure confidence and certainty was communicated while we were navigating the change. That was the biggest challenge. The second challenge was also to sort of take into confidence our own people, which is the most important thing, that we are all in this together. I think that's the most important thing. Once that was done, making sure the customers were communicated about the depth of technology that we have in play, not just to serve them, but also the technology that can keep their lights on. So we called it remote first, right? So the challenge was to strike a fine balance of ensuring employee wellness, employee health, customer wellness, and customer health, which means that the business at large. So that was the challenge. And we navigated that admirably well as part of the larger IT ecosystem that all of us belong to.
So let's say if you can take us through a little bit more on how did you realign your strategy? You had certain strategy prior to the pandemic, then the pandemic occurred. You said that your challenges were there, taking the consideration of how you are doing business with your customers, internal employees, So how did you align yourself or realign yourself or your strategy during that point of time?
Yeah, I think personally, as I said, there are two parts to this. I called the business level strategy. What we sort of came back was we said that everything becomes remote, right? Just like companies said, mobile first, cloud first, AI first. We actually launched an offering called remote first, in the sense that if a certain amount of company wanted to move their workloads to cloud, if they want to ensure their end customer experiences were digitally transformed, contactless experiences. So the whole aspect of technology driven remote first as a business offering is one side of the strategy. Let's say advent of low code platforms, conversational AI, remote device management, touchless biometric touchless solutions for authentication, right? Or moving things to cloud even faster and better than what they conceived of. Things like this because we are a technology services company, right? That's from a business standpoint, right? But when I look at it as a chief marketing officer, as an executive leader, there are three layers, what I call a framework called a care framework, care framework. That's what I called it, which is optimism centric communication with assurance, rationality, and empathy. Right? These are the pillars on which we made this thing. Communicate with empathy, which means that the communication with employees, customers, partners, and stakeholders with applicable levels of sensitivity and keeping it simple, effective, and proactive. The layers of communication were broken down in such a way that there was no confusion in what we were trying to tell, and educating the fundamental principles of leadership that we all should be connected, hyper connected, and making sure it was inclusive. Number one, act with rationale, right? As emotions were running higher on every side of the system, staying calm was also equally important. So, rules of rationality and logic should prevail while balancing the needs of the business with a greater deal of human sense. That was the most important thing. Overdose of information continues to be a bane, hence, monitoring the flow of information with a lot of prudence by embracing warmth. Lastly, assured with optimism, right? We assured our own selves, our customers with optimism, because everyone looks for assurance when chips are down. As leaders, as leading organizations, it's very important to demonstrate that optimism, because we all knew that technology can be an enabler in this age, particularly with the type of problem that all of us were facing. And hence we sort of made sure that it was pretty much an optimism. That's how we drove the whole thing. So two parts: remote first as a business strategy, and as I said, communication with a lot of empathy, care, optimism from a communication framework. That's how we merged the both things, and that paid rich dividends.
All right, Sai. Personally, this pandemic has unlocked many opportunities for you. Which one is the best one from an opportunity point of view, which you capitalized and you are satisfied out of it?
Well, again, we break it down into two pieces. First opportunity was to ensure every existing customer found newer mechanisms of digitally transforming their engagements and initiatives, which means that if a particular organization wasn't thinking about cloud transformation for their business outcome, we made sure they thought through that seriously, and we sort of helped them, right? It could be things like that. It could also mean, for example, some of the technologies that we developed and we worked are at the frontiers of contactless things, which would also mean cybersecurity, which would also mean areas to dramatically improve end customer experience. So I think these were the opportunities, and we do a lot of work in areas around 5G and so on and so forth. So anything that can accelerate meaningfully a digital outcome for our customer, which means their end customers are getting seamlessly orchestrated delivery of services they might have subscribed to our customers was the biggest opportunity for us collectively. I don't want to go into which customer, which account, and all of that, right? So that's the biggest thing. The second opportunity was also to digitally reinvent ourselves. It threw up a lot more caliber of our employees, additionally getting upskilled and reskilled in no time. I think that's been the hallmark of this industry. So which means that, for example, areas like low code platform development, low code applications came into mainstream because we understood the fact that citizen development is becoming mainstay, and how technology can be developed faster, better, and smarter, and real implications and applications of artificial intelligence and some of the problems that we solve with more machine learning, with more data, with more cloud at the center, which also means that this allowed our own employees to get digitally reskilled, digitally upskilled. I think that's the biggest opportunity. When you're really pushed to the corner, that's when you bounce back. So that applies to this industry. So that is preparing us for the next 3 to 5 years, I would say.
All right, Sai. So, what has been your key takeaways from this experience?
Never take anything for granted, right? Be receptive to change and learn to coexist and live with this thing. It's not going to get over. But the fact that you are in the technology business, another thing that I would like to emphasize is feel thankful and grateful for being in this industry. We are so fortunate. I'm able to do this call with you, being remote, being at my home, which is also allowing us to be more productive, more safe, and secure, and be thankful to some of the advancements the technology world provides as against some industries. And as all of us, we should stand up and salute those front warriors who put their lives at stake and made us safe and healthy. So one thing that I would like to want to acknowledge is, technology industry in that sense has to be very thankful to the opportunity it has created for itself, but it should also be grateful for all the allied industries that is making us do this thing. We have to pay them forward, pay them back by creating newer solutions, newer technologies that can transform the way digital infrastructure can be better utilized for radically different business outcomes.
All right, Sai, thank you very much for taking time out and speaking to CMOTV.live. And I would say stay safe and stay secure. Thank you.
Same as all with you. Thanks for giving this opportunity. Thank you very much.